Okay, the next major thing you need to know about polar coordinates is how to convert between one and the other. Okay, so first things first, cosine of theta. If I draw just a generic right triangle like I did right here, so here's my little, oh, probably shouldn't do white. That's awkward. So we're going to go ahead and have this little right triangle right here. Now with that right triangle, if we're using theta right here, notice I didn't put it on any specific unit circle angle. That's totally fine. Whatever this angle is, cosine of theta will be our adjacent, so x, over our radius. Okay, sine will be our opposite, y, over our radius. Now, in both of these cases, you actually want to get x and y alone because it's going to help us convert more easily. So x is always going to be r times cosine of theta. That should make sense because on the unit circle, we always just say x is the cosine of theta because our radius is 1. Okay. And then this next one should also make sense because y is going to be r times the sine of theta. Well, in the unit circle, since our radius is 1, y is always sine of theta. Okay, so those are two super important ways of converting. And you use these to convert to rectangular from polar coordinates. Okay, now tangent, super important too. Tangent is just our opposite over adjacent. Had a little moment right there. Now, this, I actually can get away with converting polar coordinates for the most part without using this, unless it's not something on the unit circle. So you use tangent of theta equals y over x to convert something if it's not on the unit circle. I'm going to show you some quick tricks, but I'll show both ways. Okay, there's one last thing that's going to help us convert. So these last two are actually to help us convert to polar form to find our theta. So really our theta, I should write this out, is going to be our inverse of tangent. So our arctangent of y over x. Okay. Now, using the Pythagorean theorem, you can find your radius or your radius squared by just doing x squared plus y squared is equal to our radius squared. So that's going to help us find our radius. So let's go ahead and work our magic using these are things I would write down. They're going to come back to haunt you so many times. Okay, so let's go ahead and work with them. Okay, so this first one, we are going to convert to rectangular coordinates. That means we have our radius and we have our theta. So if we're trying to get x and y, honestly, the easiest way to do that is to use these formulas because x and y are just, x is r cosine theta, y is r sine theta. So x is r cosine of theta, or -3 times cosine of 2 pi thirds. This is where knowing your unit circle values will be helpful because cosine of 2 pi thirds, if you just, I'll do it really quick right here. 2 pi thirds is right here. Cosine is a short length, so it's going to be -1/2. So this is just positive 3/2 when you multiply that out. Let's go ahead and find our y value. I don't know why I changed colors 3 times there, but it's fine. So y is r sine of theta. So it's -3 sine of 2 pi thirds. Well, 2 pi thirds, the y value is a long leg. And it's going up, so it's positive. So it'll be square root of 3 over 2. So we have -3 square root of 3, all that over 2. So your coordinates would be 3/2 and then -3 square root of 3 over 2. All right, let's go ahead and do just one more of those. They're pretty easy. If you don't want to do one more, skip on ahead. That's totally fine. But same thing, r and theta. So x is our r cosine of theta. So 2 cosine of 7 pi fourths. And if you look at your unit circle, 7 pi fourths is in the 4th quadrant. And they're congruent. It's an isosceles triangle. So both sides are the same length. Therefore, this will be 2, and it's cosine, so it's going to be positive square root of 2 over 2. Because it's the x value, I should say. And then y is r sine of theta. So we have 2 times sine of 7 pi fourths. But since we're going down, the y values are going down, this will be a negative 2, square root of 2 over 2. Wow, I forgot to simplify both of these. But they're both pretty easy. If you simplify it, you get square root of 2 for this one and a negative square root of 2 for that one. So our coordinate would be square root of 2, negative square root of 2. And there you go.